In this video, I'm going to share how I became a high value man. I'm also going to dispel the number one myth that men get wrong about what makes them high value. And if you apply this advice, you'll be in the real 1% of men. You'll be desired by women, you'll be respected by men and your community, and you'll rise above 99% of other men. Hi, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Dominic. I'm a PhD philosophy student, and on this channel I help men cultivate the rare qualities that set them apart from others by translating timeless masculine wisdom into practical guidance for the modern world so they can live lives of depth, meaning, and excellence. So what's the cause of this confusion about what makes a man high value? I think that it comes from two competing perspectives, that of the manosphere and that of the needs and wants of women and society. Perspective 1, the manosphere perspective. So there's this myth in the manosphere that to be a high value man, you must be rich, famous, or have some sort of high status. And this is massively problematic, mostly because those people that actually have the fame and status and give you this advice don't actually have the high value man traits that many normal people actually do. And if young men take this advice, they'll continue to confuse high status for high value. So it's imperative that we get clarity on what specifically is a high value man so we can prevent ourselves from falling into this trap. Perspective 2, the needs of women and society. The truth is that men provide value in different and simultaneous ways. And you can be a high value man irregardless of your income or your status. So by becoming a high value man in the eyes of women and society, we're actually going to produce a much more meaningful and fulfilling life. So we need to redefine what a high value man is by what society and women need him to be, not what men think he should be. To do this, we can look back at the past at great men throughout history, and I've outlined 5 character traits that would make any man in the contemporary a high value man. And if you develop these 5 character traits, you'll naturally be in the 1%, and you'll get all the benefits of being a high value man. You'll be desired by women, be respected by your fellow man and society, irregardless of income or status. Also, if you'd like free weekly tips on how to be a man of excellence, sign up to my free weekly newsletter. The link is in the description. Okay, so let's begin. Number 1. So a high value man would have an impeccable character. Firstly, he would have high moral standards. He would understand what is right and what is wrong, and he would hold himself accountable to those standards. Second, he would be courageous. He would have the courage to stand up for what he believes in, to stand up for others, and to fight for his rights and his beliefs if necessary. Thirdly, he'd also be just. He would be in pursuit of justice in his daily life. And this on a simple level can just look like believing in and fighting for the equality of all. A just society would mean an equal society with equal opportunity. So a high value man would consider that if women did not have an equal opportunity, that this would be a problem for society, and he would fight for that right. So I used to think to be a high value man, you needed to have wealth, status, power, or fame. But I soon realized that wasn't true. And the people that actually had those things were actually immoral and weren't the type of people that I actually wanted to be. Moreover, in the contemporary world, I saw that people didn't really care too much about their character. They acted immorally, they didn't stand up for what they believed in, they didn't hold themselves to a high standard. So I focused on building out my character, and it serves as the foundation for everything I do in my life. And now I can not only get more self-respect for myself, but I actually get respect from others. Why? Because I have virtues and I have character. I'm honest, I stick to my word, I have a high moral standards. I don't use derogatory language. I respect all people. I have these values. When people see me, they know that I embody certain values. They can trust me, and I'm respected by others because they know that I'm not going to bend to the will of other people. Number 2, a high value man has mental strength. To be a high value man, you must have the mental strength and fortitude to cope with daily life. Life as a man can be hard, so it's important to have that mental strength so we're not manipulated by society or other people. Secondly, the high value man knows that his value does not come from society. His value is not determined by what society thinks is valuable. His value comes from internal sources, and he reinforces and fulfills those sources by doing things that make him proud and give him self-respect. So I used to believe that my value came from external sources, how people saw me, how they treated me, or how much money I had. But I soon realized that this was a completely wasteful pursuit, that I was effectively letting other people determine my own value. So as soon as I realized that, I stopped doing that, and I found a way to understand and to evaluate myself internally. Now, my value is determined by how I feel about myself, how I treat myself, and the standards that I hold and how I act towards other people. So now my value is internal. It has nothing to do with the external world. It is protected and it is fortified, and I can build it and fortify it on a day-to-day basis. Number 3, to be a high-value man, you need to have emotional awareness and intelligence. You need to be aware of not only your own emotions, but also the emotions of others. Throughout history, men have suppressed their emotion, and this has led to many negative consequences, both mentally and physically. A high-value man must be aware of his emotions and also the emotions of others. For himself, he needs to make sure that he is not suppressing his emotions, as these can lead to massive psychological consequences. In his relations with others, he needs to be aware of their emotions so he can have meaningful relationships and not fall into too much conflict. Also, a man needs to be aware of his own emotions and his desires so he can make sure that he's not being pulled along by emotions and desires, and he is acting in the way that he would want to act based on his character. So I used to think that to show emotion was not manly, that the best thing to do if you feel these emotions is just to squash them down and suppress them. But what I found is that this is massively problematic, and the more that you actually suppress your emotions down, the more that they are actually going to erupt and burst out in a much worse way. So now what I try to do is just be aware of the emotions that I'm feeling, whether it's anger or rage or sadness, or if you fall into depression or grief. The best thing you can do is actually just be aware that you are feeling that emotion. The thing is, we don't want to judge the emotion, because the emotion isn't judgeable. It's only our mind which judges the emotion. The emotions come and emotions go. So we just need to be aware of it, perceive it, and not suppress it down. Because what happens if you suppress your emotions, in the future when more emotions come, you just become blind to them. And this bottlenecks and will end up erupting in a very negative way. So now for me, I just become aware of my emotions, and I know that emotions come, emotions go. They do not really affect me unless I choose to be affected by them. And also, I'm more in tune with other people's emotions. As men, we don't really care about other people's emotions. We just think that, emotions are maybe for women or something like that. But by being aware of emotions of others, whether it's men, picking up on whether someone is in grief or depressed or sadness, or your family or your friends, it just builds better connections and a more harmonious life. And I've seen that this has had massive benefits for my life just by trying to be more aware of other people's emotions and what they're going through, whether that's just comforting them or a kind word or a call. By being the man that is aware of other people's emotions, you'll stand out as a high value man. Number 4, a high value man is loving. Lots of people think that to be a high value man, you must be an alpha male. But the truth is, to be of real high value, you need to be able to love your family, your friends, and your fellow man. even in some of the greatest Greek tragedies or stories, you see that some of the kings and the most powerful men were the most loving to their fellow man and to their family and friends. So I think it's important for men in the contemporary, if you want to be a high value man, that you need to be loving. You need to love your family, love your friends, love your community, and express it. A high value man expresses his love for his family by, yes, providing and protecting, but also through the expression of his love, through his words, through his acts, and through his attention and affection. Women and children need and love the affection of a man, and if you build a loving home, you will be a high value man. I too used to think that a man expressed love purely through providing and protecting, and that love and affection was maybe a little bit feminine. It was something that the wife should do or the girlfriend should do. But I've realized that by not expressing love and by removing what I could give in terms of love to my family, I've actually created a colder environment for us to live in. So since then, I've just tried to be as loving, as kind, and as generous as I can be to my family in their presence. And now I feel that we've built such a lovely, warm home for us to live in. Everybody wants to have love in their home, and every child wants to grow up in a home of love. And I think that this is something that the modern man, a high value man, brings to his family and to his home. A high value man has responsibilities, and he takes control of those responsibilities, even when they're difficult and he feels burdened by them. He is dependable. He is a pillar of both his family and his community. In the contemporary world, it seems that men are pursuing mostly selfish goals to achieve their own ends. And somehow we've lost the meaning and the satisfaction of the past of what it meant to contribute and be responsible for our own societies. I think that's something that we are missing today, at least in some parts of the world. So I used to think that to be a high value man, you needed to be selfish, single-minded, focused, that when you got to some level of status, then you would be of value and you would be contributing to society. But I've realized since then that actually those people who are sometimes just doing working class jobs or contributing to the community and feel responsible for their family and their community, those people are actually very high value. And I think that we've lost some of that dedication and some of the understanding of how meaningful and satisfying it is to feel responsible for your family and for the community that you live in. So now I feel responsible for myself, for my community, and for my family, and that helps me build stronger connection with people and my community, and has led to a far more meaningful life. So those are the 5 character traits I believe a man needs to have to be of high value, irregardless of income or status. An impeccable character, mental strength, emotional awareness, to be loving, and to be responsible. And if you want guidance on how to build an impeccable character, check out my video here, How I Became a Stoic Man. I hope that was of value. It's been a delight sharing what I believe to be the 5 character traits of a high value man. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything that you think a high value man should embody that I didn't cover here, or what your favorite of my top 5 character traits is. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.